Did you know that when you are performing calculations under vectors, you can actually predict the sign of the x and y components? So I'm going to quickly show you how you can do that. So I just thought of this like, this is as simple as that. So let's say, for example, we have a vector here. Maybe let's say this is 5 newtons and the angle is 30 degrees. So if you want to find the x component and the y component, you already know x component, it is r cos theta. So if we are to calculate this will be r cos 30. So now as you are calculating, sometimes you are going to be so fast, but the trick I want to show you here is that you can even know that okay, so here the answer I'm going to get is going to be a positive. So when you plug that into your calculator, you are finding positive 4.3. Yeah, so in case you find the negative, just know that you are doing something wrong. Yeah, you are doing something wrong. Here you can have maybe 100 newtons, here different, or an angle maybe 60 degrees, and then here any magnitude. Always know, in such a case, x will be positive and then y will also be positive. So how do you know that? You know that because remember, x component simply means the angle is going in the x-axis. So if you look at this vector, it is going to the right, so the answer will always be positive. And then in the y-axis, it is going upwards, the answer will always be positive. So let me give you now quite a different scenario so that you understand this very well. So let's put, for example, if we have a vector going like this, okay, not here, let me put a vector that is going like that. So in such a case, maybe let's say this is again 50, and then let's say maybe this 60, 5 and 60. So if you want to find the x component for such a vector, you can see it is going to the right. So even the x component will be positive. But for the y component for this vector, it is going downwards. You can see the vector is going downwards like that, meaning the y component will be negative. So even as you are solving, you even know how the answer will look. So this will be very helpful in case you make any mistake. And then remember, under vectors, angles should always be read from the positive x-axis, meaning this is 360 minus 60, 300. So let's say 5 cos 300. So since this vector is going to the right, meaning even our answer will be positive in the y-axis. We have 2.5. This is the x component. And then for the y component, we know it is r sine theta. So this is 5 sine 300. Since it's going downwards, meaning even the answer will be negative. So you can try that on your calculator. You are getting negative 4.3. Yeah, so this is something very useful. I noticed this when I was doing my natural sciences. So it was very helpful when you are fast, you are in a test. Let's look at another example. Let's say we have something like that. So maybe we can give this 20 degrees. So this is 7 newton. So for such, I think, let me start with something else. Let me start from here. So we've been given this as 25. Yeah, so this is a 100 newton vector. So how do you find the components? So for the x component, You already know it is r cos theta. So r is 100, cos theta should be read from the positive x-axis. Yeah, so in the previous video, I already taught how you read from the positive x-axis. So this is 180 minus 25. So what do you get when you subtract 155? So remember, under vectors, all angles should be read from the positive x-axis. So this angle, it is going like that. It is going to the left. You can see this is the left hand side. So we only have the right and the left, which is this side. We only have the right and the left, like that. So if an angle is going to the left, the x component will always be negative. If you find a positive, then check your calculations. Yeah, so for all angles which will be going like that, answers will be positive. So in such a case, you plug in what is 100 cos 155. We have negative 9, negative or 90.6. So this is the x component. You can see it is negative because it is going to the left. And then what about the y component? For the y-axis, it's like that. It's going up. It's not going like this. So for the y component, if you calculate, it's going to be positive. So 100 sine 300. So when you do that, you are getting positive 50. Meaning in the y-axis, it has moved by 50. Yeah, so this is something quite useful. If you just see you have calculated a different sign, just know that you are wrong somewhere. So we can now get an example here. Now let's say we have been given an angle there, it is 70. So for this one, for the x-axis, so let's say this is 200. So the x component is 200 cos. Remember, angles should be read from the positive x-axis. So this will be 270 minus 70. So I don't like the example I've used. Okay, so but it's just okay. 200 cos 200. What do you get? You are going to get a negative. So negative 187. 187. So here my idea is just showing you that as long as a vector is going this side, it will be negative. It's going to the left. Yeah, but for the y-axis now, since it is going like this, it's downwards. Even the y component will be negative. You have understood this. You can try 200 sine 200. You will get a negative. Yeah, and then also in the last one, whenever we have a vector going like this, in such a case, the y component will be positive because we're going to the right, but for the x component will be positive. For the y component, it will be negative. So you can try this. Let's say this is 80 and then we have a 150. Find the y component, you find the negative because we're going down. If you find the x component, it will be positive. I hope you've gotten how to predict the sign. If you're not clear, you can still always reach out and I'll gladly assist you. Like, okay, here it's just like that. Yeah, so just inbox me on this line. So that's where this tip ends. So go and watch the other videos on vectors or use more of this.